Now that you made your mind that you want to be into business, how did you choose your business? Because there is a big range of businesses available in the world market. So what made you choose, and what is the criteria for choosing a business? For maybe a young person or who is already in business, how should he know that what is the right choice?
Well, like I said, once upon a time, I never knew that Nokia will come out with an ad like connecting people. But I always believed in connecting people way beyond Nokia, before Nokia was born probably. And similarly, I always used to think that what should I do as a business, because till I finished my graduation, I was doing a lot of petty jobs. Although those petty jobs were giving me fantastic revenue.
And training.
And training. But at the same time, I thought this is good for generating revenue on a monthly basis. But what as a career? And then that is when I thought that why not do a career which will be long lasting, which will help me to settle in life, etc., etc. And at that time I thought that what is really the business that I should get into. I was always inclined towards IT, information technology, and unfortunately, although my father used to work for Mahindra & Mahindra in the EDP department, the computer IT department those days used to be known as EDP department, Electronic Data Processing Departments. But we could not afford to join an Aptech or an NIIT. So I used to, along with my college and along with my door sales and all those things, I used to still go to a father's friend's office, which was in Lupin Laboratories at Kalinath. And there, that father's friend of my father's friend allowed me to sit in the EDP department, and with the help of books and colleagues working there, his colleagues working there, learn computers. And I, for one thing, I knew that information technology is one day going to be India's territory. India is really going to master it. So why not venture into IT? So I started learning computers at no cost.
Okay.
And during my graduation, I was in my final year of graduation in 1993. That was the Bombay riots. I cannot forget it because I was living in a very famous location of Mumbai, which became world famous during 1993, a place called Malwani.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, Malwani once upon a time used to be known as a Tadipar area. A Tadipar area is that area where criminals are sent out of the city limits to live. So I lived there 18 years of my life. Those were the best golden 18 years of my life, the safest place on planet Earth, because with all criminals around you, nothing can happen to you. A lady with 5 kgs of gold can walk in the middle of the night and nobody can think of touching her also. So when I was living in over there, I thought that like me, there are so many children who want to learn IT and they don't have the opportunity. But during 1993, after learning computers for 2 years, during the riots of 1993, I still remember there were 32,000 rupees in my pocket, out of which 25,000 rupees was given to me by a Marwadi friend who was very well to do in college.
Okay.
And with 32,000 rupees cash in my pockets, with 2 friends escorting me, we went walking from Malwani 8 number, which is the last stop of Malwani at that point of time, to Kandivli railway station, which took me almost more than 90 minutes. We went walking.
Okay.
So when the curfew was relaxed in the morning, we started walking. The curfew used to be relaxed for 2 hours to buy food necessities and essential items. So I went walking to Kandivli railway station. We paid the money and then we sat near the Kandivli railway station for the evening slot to open up so that we can enter Malwani again.
Correct.
So I bought the first computer then, and I started data processing. I started my career. I don't know how many of you all will remember, there was a television program called Super Hit Mukabla. That was the first competitive program for Hindi songs, where people used to reply those answers, which is the top 10 songs, on a postcard of 20 paise.
Correct.
And those postcards used to get data processed by people like us.
Oh.
So those postcards used to come to us and we used to do the data processing. After a few months, that program was over. So we started data processing of shares from Datamatics company. Then, thanks to Harshad Mehta, the Harshad Mehta scam broke out and the stock market was totally crashed and there was no data processing work. By that time, I had already bought my second computer. So I had 2 computers in the house and installments to be paid and no work. So I started campaigning door to door, requesting people to learn computers. And those days, learning computers was a luxury because like how parents say, बेटा क्या करता है तो बेटा डॉक्टर बन रहा है. तो उस जमाने में लोग कहते थे बेटा क्या करता है तो बेटा कंप्यूटर सीख रहा है. So that was a luxury. No common man could ever think of learning computers in 1993 because it was expensive. The basic course used to cost 8,000 plus. At that time, so we enrolled 75 students in the first 15 days of me campaigning door to door, the way I had gained the experience selling clothes, cosmetics and perfumes. And 75 students at 1500 rupees that I priced my basic course for 3 months, and suddenly my classes were flourishing because I had batches in the morning, I had batches in the afternoon and I had batches in the evening because I had to manage with only 2 computers. With 75 admissions happening, I jumped from 2 computers to 8 computers, and St. Angelo's computer education happened, and that's how the education activity started around 1994.
Correct. So sir, what normally happens when a person starts a business तो शुरू हो जाता है, but after some time you realize that you are doing a job, you are doing a business, but you are doing it like a job. So एक monthly fixed earning ही आ रहा है, बोलने के लिए business है कि मैं businessman हूँ, but you are getting a fixed earning and you are doing it in a style of a job only. So and that happens because कि expansion कैसे करे समझता नहीं. 2 कंप्यूटर है, 2 से 8 तो बना लिए, 8 से ऊपर कैसे जाएंगे पता नहीं है, and लोग आ रहे चल रहा है, you go into that operational activities और उसमें खो जाता है इंसान, and then somewhere it becomes like a job only. बोलने के लिए मेरा business है, but it becomes a job. So how you actually broke through that and went into a large, setting up an empire called St. Angelo's, which is across Mumbai. There is no place in Mumbai where you can't
delegation was easy because I realized that on 1 computer I could work, but if I make from 1 computer to 2 computers, because during the time of data processing we were working on 3 shifts. We had 24 hours. My side room in the house, which was an illegally constructed room without BMC permissions, in that room we used to do this data processing, and that used to go on 24 hours. So I started concentrating on marketing and getting the jobs at home, and I started deploying students who had some knowledge through on-the-job training. So I already started delegating by hiring people who used to work on those computers 24 hours. So we had males and females mix working during the day and only boys working in the night shifts. So delegation started happening, and I realized that if I start doing the desktop job myself, then I will not grow.
Correct.
So when the 2 computers went to 6 computers, initially I started teaching, and at that time I already efficiently knew how to operate DOS, WordStar, Lotus and DBase.
Okay.
Those were the operating system word packages and the accounting packages which were available. So I used to very effectively teach that in those days. And like I said, my selling experience of going door to door and selling things to people was very helpful for me to generate students during the class which I operated, and also while delivering lecture. It was very convenient to coordinate, connect and deliver lecture to the students.
Correct.
But then I thought that if I don't do marketing and if I do lecturing, then who will get the students?
Correct.
So I started bringing in people who knew little computers. I taught them and they taught the other students. So that's how the first batch of faculties happened. And then we started a very novel concept of marketing which was very cheap, and that novel concept was wall paintings. In around 94, 95, the only people who used to do wall paintings along the railway lines used to be Juliet Bra.
Okay.
And apart from Juliet Bra, anything else standing straight on the roads used to be painted by St. Angelo's.
Oh.
So that is how we started the wall paintings. That generated inquiries which converted into admissions. 1 center became 2 centers, 2 centers became 4 centers, 4 centers became multiples.
Correct.
So that's how it all rolled out. And delegation is the name of the game. If you want to grow vertical, you need to delegate. Correct. And that is what we effectively did at the right time.
Right.